Hi, Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. It's a beautiful first day of August of 2020, and I thought I'd grab a cup of coffee and do a little video for you here today. It's a topic I don't hear talked about very much, the fun in Forex trading. So let's go get this coffee. Sorry for the quick swing there. I'm not used to using, I'm not a filmmaker, so we're going to go in here and we're going to get to some coffee making skills. Oh, and by the way, while I think of it, this is going to be a long video. I'm just going to sit down with my coffee and have a great time chatting with you guys. And so if you're not passionate about currency trading, or you don't particularly care for me, just shut it off and go watch Casey Neistat or something. But this will be a long one. All right, let's get this coffee going. It's time. All right, big mug. Let's do it. Let's go. Yeah, baby. I think it's ready to go. Let's see. All right, that's all. All right, this is ready to go. Oh, a little half and half to take the edge off. And that's how we do it here, Langers. Just a shout out to my friend Langers, the scruffy trader in the UK, who's obsessed with coffee. Look, you can't trade without coffee, and you can't talk about trading without coffee. So we're going to be talking about trading today, and why it's fun, and why that isn't a bad thing to have happen. So Langers, I hope you're watching this. Let's get on with it. Okay, I'm ready now. Okay, I got my coffee. Let's go into the living room and see about some chatting on the video. Here's my living room and our backgammon board. Sue and I are great backgammon players. We play every night, and every Thursday we have a championship round. All right, I'm settled in now. I got my coffee. Let me have another sip here. Are you having fun in your Forex trading? Or are you looking to get into Forex to have fun? I don't think those are bad things. I think they're really good things. I don't hear anybody talking about the fun of trading Forex. We talk a lot about risk and reward, and you could get wiped out, and Jesus, every possible bad thing that could happen to you can happen to you in trading. Let's just face that. But it's fun. It's fun because it's challenging. You're competing with some of the finest financial minds in the world, and we're really not competing. We're just like an ant saying that we're running alongside somebody else and we're competing with the human. We're not really competing as a retail trader, but we can make a lot of money if we play by a certain set of rules that the bigger guys are using. We don't trade for the same reason that the bigger guys do. We trade for our own benefit, whether that's to replace our income or create an income for ourselves, or to increase our net worth. Depending on the age that we come into this trading thing, we're going to take a different view of it. When you win, it's exciting, and when you lose, it really sucks. But so does winning and losing at poker or tennis or sailing or you know, anything. Well, let's get real about things here. We do things in life that challenge us, and the reward for that challenge is either going to be financial in some way, or it's going to be emotional or spiritual. You know, you might climb a mountain for both reasons. You might climb a mountain because you're a travel blogger, or you're a recognized expert, and so you're going to do a video or write a book or something about climbing the mountain so that you can make money. But primarily, you're climbing the mountain because it's fun. You wouldn't climb the mountain if it wasn't fun. What, these guys go up Everest knowing that they face death at every turn and that their oxygen levels are low, and it's months of really hard deprivation? Is that what they're thinking about when they're climbing up Mount Everest? No, those are the preparations that they make, recognizing risks, taking all the steps that they can to mitigate those risks so they can have fun. Because that's what it's all about, to have fun. Because having fun makes you happy. As I teach in the martial arts, that's the reason for everything, is to be happy. What are we doing here? What are you gonna work a job for 50 years and amass $4 million and then what? And then you drop dead or something? And you lose 40 or 50 years waiting around to climb that mountain, or to see if you could do currency trading or ride a bike or sail or whatever it is that you're going to do? Well, I don't think that's what life is all about. You know, Gail Sheehy, her first book that she wrote called Passages, goes through those early stages of the human characteristic development. I mean, given the fact that you live in an industrialized society where you have the advantages of making certain kinds of choices as to what you're doing. But the early ages are to do everything, to try everything, and figure out what it is that you like, and have this broad-based experience of experiences and skills, so that when you get older, you can say, "Oh yeah, you're talking to a friend of yours, and they say, oh, you play tennis. I played tennis for a little while. You know, I enjoyed these aspects of it, but I didn't particularly care for these aspects of it, and so I decided that I didn't want to do that. But I appreciate the fact that that's what you like to do." I mean, if Mummy hatches you and you do absolutely nothing except lay around in bed for 20 or 30 or 40 years, and then you come out of that, and somebody says, "Oh, I just love to go sailing," and you go, I wouldn't want to do that. The water's cold, the wind blows, the boat could hit a rock. That's all you're going to look at life as a series of dangers and problems, because you don't know, you didn't try it. And yes, there are dangers in everything that we do, but you need to experience those things to the extent that you say, whoa, these are the things that could go wrong. Am I satisfied with the methodologies that I know about that mitigate those risks so that I could get out and enjoy this thing? And even if I could mitigate those risks, would I enjoy doing that thing? I mean, those are the questions you have to ask yourself about trading. Way too many people get into trading to make money. No, you don't get into trading to make money. You get into trading because it's exciting, it's a game, it's a challenge. What the end result of that is, if you play the game according to the rules, you'll make money. And if you don't, because you're only in there to play to make money, you won't make any money. I gave an example in a video the other day. I had a friend who had a friend of his who wanted to go to college and didn't have any money, didn't have any resources, and wasn't quite smart enough to get scholarships and things like that. But he knew that if he went into the Catholic seminary, he could get a free 4-year college education, and then right before he had to take his vows, he would just get out. Well, he only lasted about a year, because he wasn't interested in the theological studies that were required as you went along through those that 4-year degree program. He couldn't stand it. So, you know, as my friend Langers would say, do what you love, and the money will follow. The money will come. I've taught that shit for 50 years in my martial arts classes. You do stuff because you enjoy them. Don't start trading because you lost your job and you think that trading is going to be the way out. It's not going to be the way out. You're going to lose your money. Don't start trading because you want to take your $10,000 account and run it to $200,000. Because first of all, you're not going to run it to $200,000, and second of all, you're going to lose it. And don't start trading because you need to pick up some extra income. You're 60 years old, 65 years old, let's say, and you've just picked up Medicare. You've quit your job, and Social Security. You just started Social Security, and you realize you can't live on Social Security, and you got $50,000 or $60,000 in there, and you figure, geez, I could make 10-20% of that a year there, as opposed to the 8% in regular stocks or real estate or something. So you start trading in order to pick up extra income. You're not going to be successful, and you're going to lose the money that you need to live on in your retirement. It just isn't practical to do that. There's so many people out there that are unsuccessful in trading, and they don't understand it. I've read all the books, I've watched all the videos, and I've taken the courses. Yeah, but do you enjoy doing that? One of the first things that I do if someone says to me, that they want me to mentor them in trading, is I say, have you read Reminiscences of a Stock Operator? That's the life story of Jesse Livermore, who we really believe it wasn't Edwin Lefebvre that wrote the book. It was really Livermore that wrote the book. In fact, I had a project manager that I worked for at one time whose cousin, I think he was like third or fourth removed, was Livermore. And through the family ties and stuff, he knew people that knew Livermore, and he said, they all said that he wrote that book. Lefebvre might have done some editing on it or whatever, but man, I just think that if you put that much knowledge down and show that much excitement about it, you couldn't get that from a second party, an editor or a writer. But you'd have to write that stuff yourself, and then somebody who is familiar with editing might be able to put it together for you, but they certainly wouldn't be able to write the quality of the story that's told. In any event, if someone's wanting me to mentor them, the first thing I tell them is read Livermore's book. And if you don't get so cranked up about that and so excited that you can't even sleep at night, that you have to read that thing, and that you've already started reading it a second time by the time you get around to telling me that you've read it once, I'm not interested in even fucking talking to you about trading, because you're not going to be any good at it. If you can't get cranked up about Livermore's book, and there are other ones, but it's the excitement. Something has got to give you the perseverance to get through the tough times, because we're always going to have those tough times. But those are challenges. And do you think the guy that's trying to swim across the English Channel, or Jesus, just in a regular race to qualify for the Olympics, do you think that isn't painful and that there aren't issues and problems? What gives them the drive and the perseverance to go through that stuff? I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt that had a marvelous quote about perseverance. Don't quote me on that, but there is that quote on perseverance. And it isn't hard work, smarts won't do it. Nothing does it. Nothing wins the game like perseverance. You got to just stick to it. And the only reason that you're going to stick to something is because you like it. You can't stick to shit that you don't like. I mean, you can force yourself. Look, I spent a 33-year career as a software engineer writing business applications. And I was really, really, really good at that. I wasn't good at most other things that a lot of really smart people are, but I was really good at what I did. Or maybe I'm delusional and just think so. But I kept getting jobs when a lot of them, my contemporaries, couldn't get a job because they couldn't go into an interview and they couldn't be excited about the work. I love programming. I love problem solving. And so I was able to go into interviews and say, look, I don't know this and I don't know that, but you can read a fucking book and learn that stuff. You have to have a passion for this stuff. And the problem domain that you have, the stuff that you guys are doing, that's what I do. And I can help you do that. Ask me some questions and let's go. And because I had that confidence, that got me the interviews and follow-up interviews and ultimately a job. But it wasn't the confidence that got me the job. It was my passion for that work that got me the job. Not how hard I worked or how hard I studied. None of that stuff. You know, how many really, really smart people that you know that go into occupations, not just smart, but let's say really good memories, and that are just miserable people. You know, one of the jobs that requires a really, really good memory is an attorney, a lawyer. And if you have a really, really good memory, that is really good. You have to be smart, too, to be able to put stuff together. But there's so many people that because it's easy for them to remember that stuff, they go into law. And they're not happy with it. Because what happens when you get into some of the larger companies? You're going to attract a partner. They expect that you want to be a partner. You want to be a partner? Prove it. Put 70, 80, 90 hours a week in for years. You don't have any family life. You can't go sailing. You can't do shit. So the people that creates stress for, and and they'd rather go home and play with the baby, which is, you should do that instead of that crap, but they just are so committed and love the law. They become the really good lawyers. The rest of them, they just flush out. Why should a law firm or the medical profession allow somebody into a position of great responsibility if you just don't love it to death? They won't. Why should the Forex market contribute to your wage, contribute to your net worth, if you don't have a passion for it, if you don't just love it? It's your emotional love of the pursuit of Forex currency trading that trumps any skill out there, that trumps any amount of information that you have. And it's that love of the trading that allows you to look objectively at the screens and go, hey, that looks like a good opportunity. I'm going to go into that. Or, I'm not going to do anything today because nothing looks very good. My stomach hurts a little bit, so I'm just not going to trade today. Somebody else will create trades. They'll do what I've called in other videos and my blog post at longwoodcurrencytrading.com, anticipatory trading. Yeah, I want to trade. Why do you want to trade? Because you want to make money. And that's why you're going to fail. If you trade because you love it, then you don't have to trade all the time. I remember reading a book a long time ago. There was a fellow that was a professional craps player. And he'd go into the casino every day with a certain amount of money. And when he'd made, when he made $200, he'd walk away from the table. And if he lost $200, he'd get up and go leave the casino. And he was in there 5 days a week. He bought a house with that. He put his kids through college with that because he had discipline. And he was there for the long term. He was there every day that the casino was open, 5 days, 5 days a week he was there. So that was his job. And he said, it was amazing that these yahoos would fly in from all over the world to Las Vegas, and they were going to be there for 2 days, and they'd have their $20,000 or whatever it was, and they'd blow that, and then they'd fly out. And it was $20,000 worth of entertainment. Man, I can think of a lot cheaper things to do with $20,000 than blow them sitting around a craps table or a baccarat table or playing poker or something. I went down to Atlantic City one time, and I talked with a lot of the people that were on the plane. It was like a junket going to Atlantic City. Well, why are you going down there? The constant thing was, well, I brought $500 with me, and when that's gone, I'm out of there. That was the comment. And nobody ever said, well, I'm going down there to make money. So when we got done with the day, I had won some money playing poker, and we went into the restaurant, and we bought a really expensive meal and a bottle of wine, and I got back on the plane, and I was sitting next to a guy, fell into conversation with him, and turns out he was a professional poker player, and he'd fly to Vegas, he'd fly to Canes, he'd go all over the world and play poker, and that's how he made his living, and he was really good at it. He really enjoyed it. And so I said to him, I walked up and down this plane, and before we got there, and everybody was saying the same thing. They were saying, well, I brought this much, and when that's gone, I'm done. He goes, yeah. He said, you didn't find anybody that said, well, I'm going to make this much money, and then I'm going to go home? I said, no, I didn't. He said, go ask the people again what they had to say. So I walked through the plane, and I talked to some of the people that I had talked to before. Yeah, I lost $200. Yeah, I lost $500. Yeah, I made $20. Whatever it was, but it certainly wasn't the riches that they might have expected. But they were looking at it from the loss angle. They didn't have a love for playing the game. And they were just going down there because they thought, well, it's just probabilities. I'm pretty good at probabilities. I can make money. No, you can't. No, you can't. So I sat down with this professional poker player. I mean, he wasn't a World Series champion or whatever. He was making, I don't know, $60,000, $80,000, a couple of $100,000 a year playing poker, going all over the world, having a blast. So I'll sit down. So let's play. He says, you want to play some poker? I said, yeah, I'll play some poker with you. And he says, well, we got to play so it hurts. I said, okay, we'll play so it hurts. So we went back and forth. I think we were playing $5 a card, $10 on the last, or something like that. It was enough that it would hurt, and I think I don't know. I ended up after the hour flight or whatever it was. I was either $20 ahead or $20 light or something like that. So, I stood up good to the guy because I loved the game, and I wasn't trying to beat him and make him win all his money. I was trying to learn, and I was having fun experiencing the game. So don't get into Forex trading to make money or to it's because you just won't. And if you watch these yahoos that are driving around in their cars with the baseball caps off on the side, they got the bracelets and the gold chains, and they got the Lamborghinis or McLaren or whatever it is they're driving around that they rent. Oh, we're having so much fun. Look at what we're doing today. We're all driving out into the desert and we're going to go sand surfing or something. Yeah, okay. How much did you make last month? Well, I made, $8,000 last month. Really? How much was that on trading? They don't make the money on trading. They make money on getting people to come into the game with them because the broker pays you money for every person that you refer to the brokerage because they know that 90% of the people that trade are going to lose their money. They're taking the other side of the trade. They're not an ECN broker. That's where these guys are making their money. They're making their money off the people that come in. It's like a multi-level system. So yeah, I'm making $8,000 a month or whatever it is on the dead bodies of all the people that I bring in. Don't believe anything. Don't believe anything. I just saw an ad the other day on the internet for a blah air conditioner. It's a little small unit like this. It's powered off a USB cord. It says it cools the room and all this other kind of stuff. And I thought, I better do some research on this before I get started. There were a half a dozen sites that I went to that had reviews on it or had used it. And there was even it looked like a commercial review site that reviewed all kinds of different products. I didn't see a whole lot of products that they reviewed, but they were reviewing these little air conditioners, and they gave a series of them. Don't even know whether some of the titles existed or not, but the blah was right up there. It's spelled BALUX or something like that. And then I stumbled on a tech guy who gave a review of it. And it's a scam. Things don't work. They're not air conditioners. They're air coolers. They have a reservoir of water in there, and the fan blows across the reservoir of water, and it's not an air conditioner. But they sell it as an air conditioner. They sell it that it will cool a room. It isn't going to cool a room. And it's like $70. It's a scam. And they had gone so far as to put all of these other affiliate links out there. These guys pushing this thing. If you click on on one of their sites, that site gets paid money. It's awful. If I had the link, maybe if I remember it, I'll put the link in the bottom of the video here, and you can go and see what this guy has to say. Or maybe I won't, because all this stuff comes and goes, and probably aren't interested in the air conditioner stuff. The point of all this is, don't trust anything that you see somebody jumping up and down about, unless you have concrete proof that they've gone through the steps necessary in order to be successful in a logical manner. You can't listen to some guy overseas who says he took his $10,000 or his $5,000. I've seen a couple of them there, but $3,000, and they've run it to six-figure trading accounts. And you know how they did that? Is they hit the probabilistic 6 wins in a row or 10 wins in a row, and they were using 100, 200, 300 to 1 leverage. Well, it doesn't take any time at all at 300 to 1 leverage to take a small account and run it to well, I don't know, at least 5 figures anyway. A lot of those folks also crash and burn. But it's such a small amount of money that if they run it up and then lose it, it doesn't matter, because they could start over. And finally, when they hit it and they make their money, then they come out and they're a fucking hero. They know how to trade. All these guys, I'm trading with this 6-figure account, and I made all this money. I took this amount of money, and I ran it, and I did really good. And of course, I lost in the beginning and all this other kind of stuff, but I took this small amount, and then I ran it forward. Highly unlikely. Particularly questioning their actual trading skill, if they did use more than what's allowed in the United States, Canada, Great Britain right now. It's 50 to 1. That's it. If you can make a lot of money at 50 to 1, then that's somebody you want to listen to. Not somebody who made their money at 200 to 1. Well, there's some of these guys that really do know how to trade. They used that leverage, and they just cranked it and cranked it and cranked it, and they were successful because they knew how to trade. Why not take advantage of the big leverage? But you can't take advantage of the big leverage and take 6 or 8 runs at it and finally make a good run and then base your whole career on that. That doesn't make it. That's not trading. That's just shooting craps. Is that really fun, doing that? You say, well, what difference does it make? They made their money. Well, Yeah, but what do you think causes stress and heart attacks in our society today, boys and girls? It's chasing after money. What you should be doing is doing the things that you love. And it might be basket weaving. But if you love that to the exclusion of all else, that could be your career. That could make it work. Forex trading is inordinately challenging and fun. It's exciting. And you just want to talk about it all the time. You want to read about it. You want to study it. If that's how you feel, you're going to be successful. All you need is to get some straight guidance, not out of some of these books and the videos that you see. Talk to somebody who has a passion for the trading because it's fun and not because they made a lot of fucking money, because that just doesn't make any sense. How are you going to learn from somebody who just made a lot of money? Are they really going to be able to teach you how to do that? No, they're not. A lot of the folks out there that are trading, I'm not saying they got lucky, they have skill, but they were trading for the money, but they're very unpassionate people. Do they have fun playing with their toys and trading six-figure accounts? Of course they do. But if you're not balanced emotionally correctly, that's just going to lead to drug and alcohol abuse. Look at all the actors out there. They're really good actors, but they don't have a grip on themselves emotionally. They're acting because they happen to be good at acting, not because they love the craft of acting. And so they slip off into poor behavior. That's not how you want to end up at 60 or 70 years of age. I'm 70. And that's not how I am. I'm happy in my life. I've done a lot of things. I've learned a lot of stuff. I've met a lot of great people. And I enjoy getting up every day. And I enjoy trading Forex. It's fun. So I hope you're having fun doing your trading. I hope if you're watching this video and you've never traded before, that you are looking at something that's challenging, that could be something that you could have fun doing, that you could be good at, and as a result of that, you know that gives you the perseverance to go through the tough times, and ultimately you will make money. You know, anything that you are willing to put the hard work in and to stick with, you'll be successful at. Look at some of the folks that come out of the poorer areas of not only the United States but in the world, and they become inordinately successful. They're no smarter than anybody else, but they worked harder and they loved what they were doing. Well, that's today's lessons from 50 years of martial arts training to somebody who's now just kind of getting involved in the larger funded accounts. My own money, not somebody else's money. You know, I talked about the money that I did lose in my first big live account, and I'm basically starting over after realizing that it just wasn't rules-based that was important. It was looking at the time differential between how I was successful in real estate and how I was applying those real estate rules to the trading. And once I figured that out, I became pretty good with the smaller accounts. Again, I have a hard time trading the smaller account because I got enough money where it's just like playing poker for a week's salary, which I used to do, and then to try to come back and play poker for a dime, 10 cent, 25 cent poker. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, you lose $10 or you win $10 in an evening. I'd rather watch a movie. So I'll get my last building sold, and then I'll fund my account properly, and I'll stage myself through in the correct manner that I know that I can do. It doesn't matter. I'm just having fun, and I will continue to have fun, and I'll do fine once I get into that. Trade for the right reason, please. Don't lose all your money like I did, believing what a lot of these guys are saying in the books and the videos. They don't mean you any malice. It's just that they don't really know how to teach, many of them. There are some that are good out there that are really able to convey to you the underlying feelings that they have about what they're trying to teach you. But most of the stuff out there is just mechanics. And my son's an auto mechanic. He said he knows guys that know the book better than he does, but they can't fix a thing because they don't love solving problems. They don't love the process of auto mechanics. And they come to him, geez, I can't figure out this electrical problem. And my son will go over and look at it and go, well, you know, it's probably this. He didn't do it because of the information that he had. He did it because he loved doing this stuff so much that he can put these diverse pieces together in order to solve a problem. Now, could he teach that to somebody else? Probably not. That doesn't take away from the fact that he's a good auto mechanic, and it doesn't take away from the fact that good traders are good traders. But if you're trying to become a good trader, you're probably not going to be able to learn from someone who doesn't know how to teach it, okay? So keep that in mind, because that's where the fun comes in. When you can get good at something, so good that you're able to teach it well, such that it benefits somebody else, man, that's just a huge bonus. Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day, and have a great trading day, and go get yourself a cup of coffee and enjoy that.